Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Service Bulletin Classics. Today's bulletin comes from the Briggs and Stratton Library. This bulletin is dated January 5th, 1976. That's the spirit. This one has to do with insufficient threads. A hole in the cylinder not being drilled and tapped deep enough. That can create a problem. Let's read deeper into this classic. Subject: insufficient threads in one cylinder bolt hole on model series 233400 and 243400 cast iron engines. These are the engines on those old lawn tractors that you all love and adore. We have produced some 9 and 10 horsepower cast iron engines on which one cylinder head bolt hole was not tapped deeply enough. Sounds like quality control issue here. On such engines, the cylinder head bolt appears to be tight, but may not sufficiently clamp the cylinder head to prevent a blown head gasket. That could be catastrophic. The cylinder head bolt in question is marked in figure number 1. Our records indicate this problem occurred on some of the 9 and 10 horsepower cast iron engines manufactured between October 29th, 1975 code date and December 19th, 1975 code date. So these are code dated 1975 engines. A select few had slipped through the cracks. Check the code number on all model series 233400 and 243400. Maybe you have one of these engines on your classic riding mower. Engines in your stock and on equipment which is in your shop for sale or repair. If the engine code number is within the range listed above, check the engine as follows. Here's where our testing comes in. If there is a center punch mark in the center of the bolt head, no work is required. Repair has already been completed. So there's your telltale sign, a center punch mark in the center of one of the bolt holes. If there is no center punch mark, remove the cylinder head bolt and washer. Install the cylinder head bolt, less the washer. If the bolt can be tightened until the head of the bolt contacts the cylinder head, it indicates there is sufficient thread and no additional work is required. Reassemble the cylinder head bolt and washer and torque to 190 inch-pounds. Place a center punch mark in the center of the head of the bolt, as shown in figure number 2, to indicate the work has been performed. If the bolt bottoms before the head of the bolt contacts the cylinder head, remove the bolt and use a 5/16 tap, modified as shown in figure number 3. So you're going to need to modify a tap, or use a bottoming tap to increase the thread depth by about 2 threads. Reassemble the bolt and washer and torque to 190 inch-pounds. Place a center punch mark in the center of the head of the bolt, as shown in figure number 2, to indicate the work has been performed. This is almost like when you have a female cat spayed. They tattoo the cat so that people know that the cat had been spayed. This is very similar, but we're using a center punch mark. The work described in this bulletin should be performed under warranty, so you'll get paid for this one. More than one engine may be listed on a single warranty claim if the model and type numbers are the same. So they must be the same. Sincerely, Briggs and Stratton Corporation, Service Department. So, what have we learned today? We learned that a select amount of engines back in 1975, between the month of October 29th through December 19th had slipped through the cracks, whereas a cylinder hole was not properly tapped to the correct depth. And now it's up to us, the servicing dealer, to tap that hole deeper and then mark the bolt with a center punch mark to let everybody know that this repair had been done. So for those of you out there with your classic tractors, if you have one that falls in that range, run out to your shed or garage right now and check and see if that center punch mark is there. If not, you'll need to tap it deeper. So, there's another Service Bulletin Classic. Tune in next time when we reach into the Service Bulletin archives for another classic Service Bulletin. And there's your dinner.